Energized show, up the Irish.
Okay, what's going on, guys, and welcome to a brand new episode of Energized, brought to you by Forged Irish Stout. Ross,
are you intoxicated or something?
how are you keeping, bud?
I'm great, man. Another week, another episode of the Ultimate Fighter in the bag. Obviously, we had George Hardwick and Oban Elliott on the show as well this week. That was phenomenal, so go check that out. Got great feedback on the show. People love the two of those guys. They were saying such massive characters, the two of them, but they're like chalk and cheese.
Yeah, they're like in a lot of ways, but they are two great characters. They'll be sorely missed in Cage Warriors as well. But as two lads fly the nest, like more people can take up those spaces, Ross.
Yeah, absolutely. And we will probably touch on Cage Warriors at the end of the show. They have changed their date. They're now coming to Dublin in October now, which is earlier than expected, and we definitely welcome that.
Yeah. But Ross, this is an Ultimate Fighter show.
It is absolutely. Obviously,
Episode 4.
Episode 4, we saw Trevor Wells take on Timur Valiev. This episode was a very interesting one. We'll probably start off with obviously this fight was rebooked. They were supposed to fight earlier on in the season. I think it was episode 2.
Episode 2.
There was a cold sore on Trevor Wells' side of things, and they said they did the fight down the line and agreed at a catch weight. I think the weight class was the first part of it. What did you make of Chandler trying to have the fight at 145, and then McGregor's team being like, can you make bantamweight? And then Wells was like, yeah. So I was like, right, we'll say bantamweight then.
Yeah, do you know what? It actually was really funny to see them try to negotiate this. I know that Julian, the doc, on Team McGregor went in and said, like, we want it at 135, and then Chandler says 145, and then he was like, it's a catch weight, not a featherweight. Yeah, so he's like, right. Chandler's like, right, 144 then, and then Julian just said, I can't negotiate this, and then walked out like with a bit of a laugh.
Yeah.
And then
he sort of walked out and he said 135 though.
yeah, underneath his breath. Yeah. I think he was like, I'm not agreeing to anything because like if I do this, Conor would be like, what are you doing?
And I'm gonna have the last laugh as well.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, the negotiation skills weren't really on point for Team McGregor. But Dana came in 142 pounds. I would have thought they would have agreed on like 140 maybe.
Yeah, but I think on this occasion, Chandler's team held all the cards that Chandler's team could have pushed harder for a boy in the first place. But I think the boy would have been harsh. And I also just think you have to look at the tournament as a whole as opposed to actually looking at, Team McGregor versus Team Chandler. That's actually just not fair on that competitor. It's not like he actually pulled out, like he wasn't medically cleared to fight for like a skin infection. It wasn't like he had a broken orbital bone or something like that. So I think I think it was fair for everyone, to be honest. So
yeah, and the two lads shared a room together. They were fighting to see who sleeps in the bottom bunk.
Relegated to the bottom bunk.
Is the bottom bunk not meant to be the best one? If you're in jail, they're like, I want the bottom bunk.
I'm actually not too sure. I'm sure different people have different preferences.
Let us know. Would you rather top bunk or bottom bunk?
Yeah, you know it.
But no, like going into it, they're both meant to be fighting at 135 pounds. Like Timur Valiev is a veteran, as you said before, and Trevor Wells, like he was coming in. There was a lot of talk about his amateur career in the background as well.
He was what, 4-time amateur champion. He had a picture of him with all the belts at one stage.
Yeah, they sort of went on a bit too much about his amateur career. They didn't really talk about his pro career.
Yeah, it was quite in depth. I've never really seen the Ultimate Fighter really go on about someone's amateur career before, but maybe it was very well known on the stateside. Like I'd never heard of anything about his amateur career coming into this. But look, he what was he 8-3 coming into this fight?
Yeah, that's why I thought he was going to be like 2-0 maybe.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, well, he's had 11 professional fights. Just seemed a bit strange. I think it's the first time I've seen someone on the show who like lives at home with their parents. I thought that was sort of interesting. And then he was like, "I have green thumbs." I was like, I thought the phrase was green fingers, but like him saying he liked gardening and stuff like that. I thought a lot of filler for Trevor Wells. He doesn't seem to be that interesting of a character.
Well, the adoption story as well. Like it seems like all these lads have like a story.
Yeah, him and was Cody Gibson. We're talking about being adopted, which I thought was sort of touching, and which is interesting considering Michael Chandler also has adopted kids as well. So,
and then Austin Hubbard, wasn't he adopted?
Yeah. I'm not sure. I know his brother passed away.
No, both.
I think
it was Austin Hubbard, like him and his brother. Oh no, who's the guy that lost to Austin Hubbard? There was I think no. Quinn. It's the guy. Sorry, it's the guy who lost to Roosevelt Roberts. Him and his brother were both adopted at 2 and 3. That's what he said.
Yeah, so like, geez, there's a lot of adopted people on this.
There is a lot of adopted people, yeah.
But like maybe that's more frequent in the States, and we just don't realize it. But look, like it's I suppose it's good that they have shared experiences, and they can probably feel more open to talking about, which is obviously very important, especially for sort of your mental health. And I'm sure anyone who is adopted, like, they do have curiosity. So, yeah.
Are you surprised? Are you surprised at this stage nobody's in the gaff like really wrecking the kip the way like I just saw the other day, like a Jody Browning wrecking the place, or Let Me Bang Bro, Julian. What's his name? Julian Lang. Are you surprised no one's going around with Ford's Irish Stout smashing it around the kip like down a proper 12?
Well, I think Juni Browning was infamous for TUF, and same with Julian Lang, but like they never really had good post-fight careers. So I don't think anyone who's ever been, maybe bar like a Josh Koscheck and a Chris Lieben in the first ever season, I don't think any of the main instigators of trouble within the house have actually gone on to have successful careers. But yeah, you're right. It's a bit quiet in the house, really, to be honest. You don't actually get to see too much from the house, which is strange. Like, I feel like we haven't even really seen a tour of the house. Normally, they're out by the pool or something like that. You don't really get to see what's in this gaff, effectively. So, I suppose in previous seasons you had people like playing pranks on each other's beds and
pranks as well, man. Yeah, I forgot about the pranks.
Maybe it's just due that they have vets.
With Bisping, remember Bisping was coaching against who's your man?
Henderson?
No, it's
Henderson,
the other one. No, the other one.
Oh, Jim Miller.
No, not Jim Miller. Your man who was wacky zany guy.
Yeah, Mayhem Miller.
Mayhem. You said Jim Miller. It's not Jim Miller.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, Mayhem Miller. Yeah, remember they were robbing each other's car tires and putting them in each other's rooms and stuff. There's been no wacky zaniness going on yet.
Jason Miller. Did I say Jason? No.
I thought you said Jim.
Oh. Well, we'll be able to listen back afterwards.
Is it John Gooden, John Gooden, or Jonathan Gooden? That's the question.
One of us is getting a hide anyway.
Yeah, one of us getting slated, yeah. Yeah, but there's been no craziness yet.
No. Well, although one thing that was crazy and like was probably a lifetime experience for the lads is bringing Wonder Boy. Obviously the chips are down. McGregor's after bringing in one of the best strikers the UFC has ever seen.
How do you think that came about?
I think are they not both paradigm athletes? Yeah. So I'd say Audie is probably in contact with these guys and was like, "Oh, I'm in Vegas," and he was like, "Oh, I would like to come and do a thing for the Ultimate Fighter," and. We've met Wonder Boy. We've interviewed Wonder Boy. We've spoke to him off camera, on camera. He's the nicest guy in the world, and I'm sure if he's asked, he's not going to say no. So, and like McGregor was saying, his distance management is incredible. That even watching that drill, I'm sure there's kids at home who have aspirations to be MMA fighters who are doing that drill at home now.
That's what I was thinking when I was just watching him. Do you know what age he is?
He's 37, I think.
He's 40.
Is he?
Yeah. So moving like that is it's crazy.
Yeah, man. He was moving like a spring.
And looking that young as well.
Yeah. He does look very, very young. But I'd say there are tips and tricks that people can implement in their game, or even just a new warm-up routine to get from that guy, prior to your striking class and stuff like that. They're all the little 1% difference that make you a better fighter.
Yeah, but even watching Conor do it as well, his leg seems to be okay as well.
I actually thought McGregor looked in phenomenal shape in this episode. He was sort of walking around with his top off, and he was in great shape. And I was like, he looks ready. Although like he's sort of always in good shape, but I just thought in this episode I was like, he actually looks in fight shape.
What weight?
170, man. That's
170?
a new weight class.
I thought he was
Money
talking
weight.
about going to super heavyweight. Money weight. It is money weight.
Yeah, I think you said a lot off camera to me, but I would have liked to see even more from Wonderboy. I thought that was cool. I'm surprised Chandler didn't like try and be like, we do a session for our team too.
Yeah, I think every week they should have just brought in a UFC legend, maybe.
Yeah, because if you think about it, like there's a week between the fights, so therefore, they're going to be training at least 5 of the days. So
Yeah, but surely there's fighters constantly going into the PI that could just come over and
yeah, definitely
show them a couple of things.
Yeah, get Sean Strickland in there.
Get strong. Man, Sean Strickland's so funny these days, man. Crazy.
So funny. But come here, what did you make of the fight? Timur versus Trevor. Obviously, it's by far the most competitive fight we've seen on the season.
Yeah, do you know what? Going into it, I thought that Timur Valiev from Team Chandler was actually just gonna destroy him. But
so did I.
Yeah, but because I was like, before watching it, I was like, do you know what? Timur is probably the favorite, one of the favorites to go all the way.
Yeah, like 18-3 is like an unbelievable record.
Yeah, I know Brad Katona won this before, so he's obviously going to be in with a shout. But I was like, right, this guy's probably one of the favorites to win this. And then he went in and Trevor Wills gave him a really good go. And at the end, I did think that he lost 2-0, but I would have actually liked to see a third round because the fight was so entertaining.
Yeah, like I think the fights are only 2 rounds because they're exhibition bouts, and then like they have the sudden death round if it's like 1 round apiece.
Yeah.
But I just think at this stage of MMA, it's 2023, they should be allowed to fight a third round, because we've seen fighters lose 2 rounds and then come back in the third and find the finish. So I think Trevor Wells should have been given that opportunity. And I felt Trevor Wells was actually getting better as the fight went on. I felt like he seemed the fresher opponent, fresher fighter. I sometimes wonder when they were discussing the catch weight issue, if Trevor gets signed to the UFC post Ultimate Fighter, would he actually drop down to flyweight? Because he was saying he was the smallest guy in the house, effectively. So I wonder, will that be a thing? I thought Timur's wrestling was really good. We didn't touch on it, but I thought his vignette, his video thing was actually really good as well. Seeing him over in Tiger Muay Thai, it seems to be like an absolute haven for fighters over there. We know our boy John Hutchinson's over there, coaching, and like he's always saying to us, you should buzz it out here. I'll be like buzz it out here to get my absolute ass kicked. I love to. I might pass for
that might go viral, man. You against Kazmat. I'll record it.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that. But no, that looked really, really cool. Actually, it was interesting seeing them two talk and sort of, I don't know whether they were cooking or what they were doing, but they were in the kitchen. And then Timur was like, I married my wife after 1 year. And then Trevor was like, geez, if I had to marry the first chick I ever dated, I'd be raging with myself. And like that was like an interesting contrast in lifestyles.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fight, I thought, I did think Timur won the 2 rounds, in fairness. But again, they were close rounds, so I wouldn't mind seeing a third. And especially, it was very high level, I thought.
It was. I thought it was very good. He's the first person to really give Brendan. Trevor Wells is the first guy to really give Team Chandler's team a proper go. Do you know what was interesting to see at the end when they went into the change rooms after? The guy who you said Mackenzie.
Oh, welcome to the squad.
Yeah, he's like, you're one of us now. It's like,
what, like a loser?
Yeah, that was like,
man, like I knew there was something wrong with that guy.
But that's like the worst attitude to have.
That's what I would think.
That's a loser's mentality.
Yeah, it's like, oh, well done. You're part of the loser gang now.
Yeah.
Man, that actually drove me mad when I saw that at the end. I was like, that fella's after fighting his heart out on
showing that the prospect should be there.
Yeah, and I was just like, you're
you're bad.
Keeping the pattern going, is it, bud?
One of us.
Yeah,
So,
it was
no, man.
it was really, really strange. But I suppose the other thing is we got a snippet like you do every week for next week's episode. Brad Catone was fighting SPG zone, Canada zone, but also Ireland zone. We have claimed them, and there seems to be a rift in the camp with him because obviously he trains in SPG Ireland. He'd be teammates of Conor, King, Cowley. A lot of the coaches would know him personally and know him quite well. Obviously, it looks to be when there's the changeover. I don't know who's training first or who's training second. I'm going to assume Chandler's team does the morning session and McGregor's does the afternoon session. And it feels like when the changeover happens, Brad's obviously talking to King, Cowley and co. And it doesn't seem to go down well with the Team Chandler boys.
Well, what's he meant to do?
Well, like, I don't blame him. And like, they're sort of saying like, oh, obviously he wants to be on Team McGregor or whatever. And he probably does, like, in fairness. Like,
you see, the thing is, Brad, like, you see, Brad's in a really, really tough situation, right? First of all, he's not like controversial in any sort of way, like, but the Team McGregor is actually his team in real life.
Oh no, definitely. I think from obviously just watching the brief snippet, I think one of the issues is Team Chandler on the bus, ready to go back to the gaff. I think Brad's the last person to get on the bus because he's talking to the McGregor team.
Oh, was that it?
I think that's.
But that could just be edited. That could just be edited, and they're trying to make a story.
No, it definitely could be, but I could also see it being true as well because like they finished their train session, so they're probably going to get home and eat, as opposed to Brad's like, oh, my friends, I'm gonna have a chat with these guys. So could be interesting to. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. It'll be interesting to see, like, is there an offer of a trade? Although we did see in the fight that McGregor was actually like coaching his guy, and not Brad,
thing,
which I was like, oh, that's surprising. Well, I didn't know whether McGregor was gonna sit out on that one or what he was gonna do.
Well, they can't just sit out and let your man go fight with no corner.
No, but I'm sure his guys would have cornered him. But like, I was surprised McGregor was actually actively still cheering for his guy. He's not in the corner, McGregor, so he doesn't have to necessarily give the advice. I think McGregor likes not being in the corner, how he can walk around the octagon and give the advice as the fight moves, he can move with it.
Yeah. Do you know what? It's going to be interesting to see what they do with Brad, but I'm sure he's going to stay in the same team. But yeah, it is very tough.
I've never seen one person ever change team. I think that was BJ Penn and Joe Stevenson on that season, I think it was. And someone changed team. I think that's the only time I've seen someone change team.
Is that the one when who's he got?
I think there was like an Asian guy who was crying.
No, in that season, who was BJ coaching against?
Jens Pulver, I think it was.
Jens Pulver, and they walked in, and at the very beginning, BJ's like, "Put your hand up if you want to be on my team, and not on his team."
Yeah,
nearly everyone put. Oh, that's the Nate Diaz season, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Nate Diaz was on Jens Pulver's team though.
Yeah, because his brother trained with Nate Diaz. Nick Diaz.
Or Nick Diaz, yeah.
Sorry, excuse me.
Man, here a history lesson the before. Baz was there watching them all on UFC Fight Pass.
I'm on season 30. No, but yeah, the Brad's going to be in a tricky situation next week, and the week after, I think Lee Hammond's going to be fighting as well. But like, Brad has the potential to make history here. Like, he's obviously the current Brave bantamweight champion. He previously won the Ultimate Fighter. I think they said season 27. I'm on season 31, so like
it wasn't that long ago.
It wasn't that long ago.
It wasn't that long ago in terms of TUF seasons. I know it went on hiatus for a while, TUF, but yeah. It's going to be very, very interesting to see. So I can't wait to see it. I think this is it looks like it's going to be a tough competition to win. Whoever wins it definitely deserves it.
Yeah. But okay, so let's just go over things right now, right? It's 4-0 to Team Chandler.
Yeah.
If Brad Katona wins next week, does that make it 4-1?
No, I think it makes 5-0. Although it's funny that, like, obviously we're sort of up for Team McGregor, even though, like,
what do you mean sort of, like?
Well, as in, like,
we're not getting invited to the Christmas party if we.
Yeah, but obviously you want Conor's team to win. But like, I'm not like, I don't feel attached to any of the Team McGregor fighters so far. So like, I'm not like, geez, I hope Trevor Wells wins.
You said Mackenzie was cool because he had like a Batman tattoo across his chest.
I think I slated him. obviously, like we're up for Team McGregor as a whole, but we obviously want Lee Hammond and Bragatone to do well. So like I think this week I'll be up for Bragatone.
Yeah.
Well, no, I definitely will be, but it's definitely going to be one to watch out. Definitely can't wait for the next couple of episodes when we see Brad and then see Lee fight. That's part of the reason we're like covering the season so hard. That we actually have Irish interest on the show.
Yeah.
We touched on it at the start. We'll touch on it now. Cage Warriors coming back to Dublin in October, Basmo.
October 14th. It's a Saturday in the RDS, Ross, not the Tree Arena this time.
Yeah, I'm okay with the RDS.
We won't be able to get that cardio going up and down the stairs. Like, what are we going to do?
True that. But I think at least the RDS it might be more of a cauldron feeling in there. It might ramp up the atmosphere.
How many tickets? How many people will that hold?
I think maybe 3,000.
Okay.
So look, the atmosphere in Tree Arena last time was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. But like you said, the interviews were really far away from the cage. So like it was one of those things where it was quite hard to get in and get out and actually get all the interviews done. We didn't get to see so many of the fights at all actually in the arena, which I'd like to do more of this time. So
that was that was the worst thing about it, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely.
Who could headline that, Ross? That's the question.
I know we touched on it before, and we said maybe Caelan Lochran might fight Nathan Fletcher in Manchester, but maybe Caelan Lochran fights Nathan Fletcher in Dublin. I think that could be one to look out for. Or who knows? Maybe they bring out Wilson Hayes and he fights Wilson Hayes. But I think the Fletcher fight would do more numbers. I think people would travel over from Liverpool for that, or Stockport. They're the ones I'd like to see. Or Southport, sorry. The Southport Strangler. I'd love to see that one. Because obviously they fought an amateur and Nathan got the win. So I think that could be a rematch that people would definitely be vested interested in. Look, I think if Paul Hughes or Reece McKee don't get signed before then, or don't get offered some sort of deal on a contender series or whatever, I'd love to see them fight on the card. Look, Paul Hughes wants to become champ. George has gone to the contender series now, so maybe you do Paul Hughes at lightweight. I'm not too sure who he'd fight now, because obviously someone like Adam Cullen was looking like he was the next guy in line. Yeah. But he lost last fight. So who knows maybe against like a Mehdi Ben-Lacker or something like that. I'd be interested in seeing Paul Hughes get a second belt.
What if Reese is on the card?
And if Reese is on the card, I'd definitely like to see that. I don't know who they'd actually really match him against, because obviously Oban was the obvious choice there, and he's gone out. Maybe they pull someone new in, or maybe they give an up and comer like an Omran Chaban or something an opportunity to fight for the belt. Who knows?
Okay, I'm going to put you on the spot here, right? October 14th, Cage Warriors, Dublin. Will Paul Hughes be signed to the UFC before then, or will he be on that card?
What are we now?
Or even the contender series? Like what like contender series? UFC,
I think he's going to be on the Dublin card now. Obviously, I prefer to see him signed to the UFC because that's his hopes and dreams, and that's what I'd like to see. But we haven't seen anything just yet. Obviously, he's overtraining Killcliff at the moment. Who knows? Actually, like I suppose.
No, that's why I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah, because like I'm sitting there being like, the Ultimate Fighter was on. You know, all Yatar obviously looks after Paradigm Sports. That's who Paul Hughes signed to, and like he just spent 6 weeks effectively in Vegas talking to Dana White. I say once a week. So hard to know. I'm going to say he's going to be on the Cage Warriors Dublin card just because I'd like to see him fight in Dublin, but I prefer if he was in the UFC.
And Reece McKee, what would he be doing?
I think Reece McKee might actually end up fighting on the contender series. I feel like he could obviously go straight into the UFC, but like we sort of touched on with George and Oban, the contender series is nice because like Dana White has a soft spot for the people who fought in the contender series.
Yeah.
And if you actually fight on there, I feel like you get pushed that little bit harder than if you just come in on a random debut. But again, like I don't think they're going to do Caelan, Reese, and Paul all on the Dublin card.
No, that'll be in the Tree Arena then.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Oh, do you know what? There must be something going on, because they would have left it in the Tree Arena if all the lads were going to be competing on the card. Would it gone to the RDS, a smaller show? It's not going to have three. It
might just be more profitable to do it in the RDS. It might not be as expensive.
Well, look, we're here to for conspiracy theories and conspiracy theories alone.
You better believe it. Yeah, but so I think that sums up another episode of the Ultimate Fighter in the bank. We love recording these shows. If you are watching this, make sure to like, share, smash that subscribe button, because it helps the lads out. And as always, stay energized.
Energized show, up the Irish. Been sussing you guys a couple of times. I've seen a couple of clips. I think you've done some interviews with Dylan Moran and that I saw. So keep going, keep up the good work, guys.